This is the Mad Dragons Podcast. Well, g'day and welcome to the Mad Dragons Podcast. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm embarrassed. That was a game against a severely weakened Bulldogs team. And the Bulldogs at full strength haven't been that good. But with that many players out, I would expect most reserve grade teams to beat them. We lost and the scoreline flattered us. They were significantly better than we were. Now, we have a team full of blokes that don't deserve the enormous honour of wearing that red V. They don't deserve that logo on their chest. I'm sure some will try and make up excuses for them, 5-day turnarounds and all that other crap, but there is no excuses for a performance like that against that opponent. Pathetic. All right, let's see what Hasman thought.
Not in a fucking good mood tonight. Okay, so to the extent that there needs to be a hero, I basically just gone with the Phenai twins. I thought they were our best by the length of the fucking Wollongong Highway. You know, I think they both should definitely fucking get a start next week, regardless if Ravalawa is back or not. I really don't give a shit at this point. I just got to remember, because I did change my mind a couple of times on the villain side of things. Now, one person I do need to call out is he's not a Dragons player, he's a Bulldogs player. He's the biggest fucking grub piece of shit I've ever seen on a football field. He plays for the Bulldogs and his name is Josh Reynolds. Going off at the referee, shut the fuck up, dickhead. You're lucky you didn't get sent off for mouthing off the way that you did. Go and get fucked, you grub. Now, the other villain, well, there's probably three villains I could probably mention. Jack Bird, pull your fucking head in. It's all good having passion, but you gotta fucking pull your head in, son. You're giving away way too many fucking penalties. Get your shit together. And the other one probably won't come as a surprise to anyone. Anthony Griffin, starting Mbai yet again. The minute Jacob Little comes on, we look like a better football team. I say it week in, week out. If our board had an ounce of fucking brains, Anthony Griffin would be sacked tomorrow morning. He won't be, but he fucking should be. To keep selecting Mbai over Little when we're lacking speed to begin with, especially in the dummy half area, is just fucking inconceivable. I don't know what bloody substances he's been taking, but look, fucking Hook needs to go. Look, that's it, Tony. I'm done.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. I think there'll be plenty of people that will 100% agree with what you said there. With certainly a lot of what you've gone through, and both your heroes and your villains. It's funny. The Mad Dragons Podcast Player of the Year. It's been funny reading people's comments in terms of who they thought played well and who they thought didn't play well. we've got eight or nine different players that have got votes from the panel today. So there's a wide spread on who people thought played well and who people thought didn't play so well. I'm certainly seeing some comments in the chat at the moment asking if Jack Bird played. I can tell you a couple of people gave Jack Bird man of the match on our panel. So, and no one else, apart from the people that gave him man of the match, no one else gave him a single vote. So there's a wide range of opinions in terms of who the best players were. For me, I thought the 3 and the 2 were actually pretty easy, and was surprised that there was so many different opinions in terms of the people at the top of the board. But still, the person that I thought was clearly our best on the field did end up with the top votes from the panel. So Big T, tell me why you thought Jack de Belin was the Dragons' best player in that game.
He done everything, man. He was all over the place. He ran 154 metres or something. Made 45 tackles. He, I don't think he missed a tackle either. He was, I thought he was amazing today. 178 metres, 62 post contact, 43 tackles, 0 misses. Mate, he was my man of the match. The other two that I picked were, I thought they were pretty close behind him, but no, man of the match, Jack de Belin for me.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think me and you were fairly well aligned. Certainly the 3 and the 2 were fairly well aligned. I thought those two were clearly the best, but we'll talk about the other one in a minute. But before we get to that, this one does baffle me a little bit, and he was one of Hasman's heroes. But you all know how I discriminate against wingers. I'm not a big fan of giving wingers votes at all unless they score 3 tries, run for 220 metres, and are clearly the best players on the field. That's the only time they'll get a single vote from me, let alone 3. So to see, one of the wingers in Matt Veni today get so many votes that he's the second best player according to our panel surprises me a little bit. I thought he was solid, but I didn't think he was spectacular. So we've heard from Hasman already. So I'll go to you, Chloe, because you gave Matt Veni some points as well. Convince me as to why he was amongst our best players today.
Well, welcome everybody. I gave him because of the tries, and he was in the game. He was everywhere today, and he had to go. Like the game was very disappointing, and I'm disappointed and frustrated. So I'm going to be firing up today. So everyone be aware that I might use choice language, but yeah, he had to go, and I saw some good moments with him, and yeah, he scored tries. So yeah, I gave him a point. I had to stop and think who I actually wanted to give all my points to, because it was very lackluster today. There's moments that were good, other moments that I was like, are you kidding? And yeah, so I thought he had a good game, I thought.
Yeah, I thought he was solid, but he's a winger. He still only ran 100 odd metres. He scored a good try. I thought he was solid and did his job, but did the job. Again, I don't think our wingers and our outside backs do as much work as some of the other teams' players in the same position. But yeah, I thought he was solid. I was just surprised at how many votes he got. I thought he might have got a couple of ones from people just because he scored a try and didn't make too many mistakes. But in any case, it's a democracy. He's finished second in the voting according to the panel, third in the voting for me. Was clearly our second best, but again, not many agreed with me. Jesse, you did. You had Blake Laurie with the 2 votes. What did Blocker do that you liked?
Behind Jack de Belin, he made the most meters. So he made 159 meters, 63 post contact meters. He also made 30 tackles. So that's the second most behind Jack de Belin again. So I thought his go forward was good. Got our sets going well, and he did his job, what he had to do, and that's what you ask of a front rower. Thought, one of our standouts in a pretty poor performance, but yeah, he did his job and did all his work and did the job that was asked of him. Can't ask for much more than that, and yeah, I thought he was really good for us.
Yeah, no, again, I thought Blocker in that opening stint got through a lot of work and did a lot of good things. So I thought he was pretty solid. But yeah, so again, I thought Jack DeBellin and Blake Laurie were our two best, and I sort of struggled to find someone to give the one to, but there was I don't know. It was a performance that I don't think too many from our backline can be proud of, and I was surprised at how many of the backs actually got votes. But in any case, we'll move on. Got a sponsor. We are currently looking for a sponsor for the show, and someone that could actually provide some sort of prize or voucher for the winner of Jags Dragons trivia every Tuesday night would be fantastic to be able to get you on board. If you've seen my game day videos, then you know we could provide you with some passionate advertising as well as some great live reads. And after another record month of downloads of the podcast, as well as a record month for viewers on the live streams, now would be a great time for your business to get in touch with the Mad Dragons podcast and ride the wave, because everything's going pretty well here at the moment on the show, not necessarily with the club. So if you maybe instead of giving money to the club, give money to us, because we're a rising entity. The Dragons are heading to the bottom at the moment. All right, New South Wales Cup. We don't unfortunately have any highlights of this game yet because it was only played this afternoon. So we don't have any highlights, don't have any stats to go through. But the Dragons took on the top of the table Bulldogs in the New South Wales Cup. And after a gritty opening half an hour, we scored first through Sevilio Tamale. So he's got 2 tries in 2 games now. But the Dogs struck back just before half time and we went to the sheds in front 6 points to 4. Courtesy of the Jaden Sullivan conversion. The second half was dominated by the Dogs, and they took the lead and then got out to 20 points to 6 before Sione Finau scored to make it an 8-point ball game with 10 minutes to go. Kyle Flanagan, playing dummy half, struck a penalty goal before full time, so the Dogs winning that one 22 points to 12. We'll move now into some moments of the match. We don't have Muzz tonight, so now it's going to screw my agenda. But so I'll go back to you, Hasman. In the early part of the match, the Dragons had several opportunities attacking inside the Bulldogs' 20-metre area, but they never really looked like scoring. And both Amone and Hunt came up with fundamental errors handing over possession. What do you put our lacklustre attack down to?
Junior Ramon not offering a fucking thing in attack, and consequently Bent Hunt having to do everything. It's pretty much as simple as that. Bring Jaden Sullivan into the mix. That doesn't happen. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. I think that there'll certainly be one person standing and applauding that comment there, Hasman. Rob Saguna will be on his feet at the moment, ecstatic with what you've said there. Trent McPherson says about the New South Wales Cup games, Billy Burns was outstanding. So 3 games in a row that he's been pretty good. Maybe he'll come into the first grade mix. All right. I'll go to you now, Jesse. For most of the first half, the Dragons held on somehow. Not really sure how, but the Dogs seemed to find a lot of space straight through the middle, and everything they were doing just looked faster than us. What was it that the Bulldogs were doing that seemed to catch our defence out so consistently?
It was just everything, really. They were throwing the ball around, finding gaps out wide, up the middle. As you said it earlier in the day, that they were lucky to only be 10-4 down at half time. Like, they were a much better side than what the score suggested. Like, the score flattered us at half time. Like, Avarillo was given way too much room to move. He made us look pedestrian in defence when he broke through. It was just very poor that the way the Bulldogs were breaking us, and not one of the better teams in the competition either. So it's pretty poor when they can do that to us. And they let so many tries out there in that first half. Like, they dropped so much ball as well. But yeah, they, like you said, Jess, they should have been ahead by 20 plus at halftime. Dragons were lucky in that department, but yeah, our defense has been a problem for many weeks, not just today.
Yeah, Chloe, you've got something to add there?
Yes. I feel like our middle is very slow. I don't know what it is, but it was the same with the Roosters. They're just slow. There's no, I don't know, a couple of rounds back where we were throwing the ball around and running to the line. We were actually, it was great, but now we're just too slow, no confidence, nothing. It was just, yeah, we should have been able to go like either in front at halftime, but yeah, there was no speed, nothing.
Yeah, and speed is certainly the order of the day. I mean, I think the title of this episode is Speed Kills, and it killed us today. I think that was definitely a key factor. Jesse, you just want to follow up there?
Yeah, I think like people have thrown up that I've heard some people send me messages like throwing our short turnaround last Tuesday. That's no excuse. That is no excuse. There was 2 other teams that had the short turnaround today as well. They had a game they had to play as well. Like that is no excuse. There's other teams that have to do a 5-day turnaround in the competition. They complain, but it's not going to change anything. They're professional footballers. At the end of the day, they should be up for this game, and their defense was non-existent. They're too slow. By the time they're ready to defend, the other team's already through them, and it's just it's non-existent defense, and they just really need to kick up the bum. That's what they need.
Yeah, and as we said on Team List Tuesday was actually Thursday night. It was a big show Thursday night, but as we said on Thursday night, that historically the 5-day turnaround actually makes no difference at all. So they've looked at the data over the last 20, 25 years, and having a 5-day turnaround actually gives you a better chance of winning statistically than someone with a 10-day turnaround. So the 5-day turnaround is an excuse. And if you're looking for excuses, you will always find one. You will always find an excuse. There is no excuse for the way that we played today. And I don't think people should be looking to give the players an out. They don't deserve one. That was pathetic. And I don't think that's good enough. All right, Chloe, I know you are really fired up and you want to get stuck in, but I will go to a positive moment just for your next question. TPJ, Tavita Pangai Jr. throws a wild offload and Lomax swoops on it. Talk us through that moment and what it was that you felt for the team at the time. Did you think that was a good sign that we were going to be able to get our act together and start playing a bit better from that point?
Yes, I was so surprised Zach Lomax was like got the ball, and I was like, just come on, and I just thought that was going to be it. That was going to be the moment that we would like turn tables and just get the momentum going, and then I was like, oh, it's like a roller coaster in the Dragons. You go up, yes. But it was a great run. I was like, oh, thank God, just something. I thought he was going to eat my words because I have been a critic of him. So it was a good moment, but you still need to learn to kick. Okay, mate? You've got to learn to kick.
Oh, yeah. Again, I don't know that he. I don't know that he kicked all that badly today. He kicked 2 from 3, kicked 1 from the sideline. He missed 1 from the sideline. It's I don't know.
And I gotta say, Donnie, that what irritates me now is we've got Amon kicking and now Ben Hunt kicking. Where were they 2 weeks ago? Where were they? Like, this is what fires me up because I put shit on Zach Lomax with his kicking skills, and these 2 drongos decide, oh, today's the day I'm going to decide to kick. Like, wake up. Do it before, not now. When we're playing a Bulldogs game, do it while, like, it's just so frustrating.
Yeah,
wait, Amon actually kicked.
Yeah, maybe I did. Maybe it was about dream, but
he kicked 3 times.
Yeah.
He kicked a few times. He kicked once when we were inside the 20. He put up a good bomb that came down short and put them under all sorts of pressure. So he did have some good touches, Junior Amone, but I think that he also had some ordinary ones where he sucked the life out of our attack and He also threw that great cutout pass to put Max Feeney in. So, I mean, he had some decent touches. I think it was probably Junior Ramone's best game of the year, and he was still pretty freaking ordinary. So, I think that says you a little bit about how he's been going so far this year. But I think Chloe sort of touched on it there again, that lack of speed. Lomax getting run down in that one, and it was lucky he was able to come up with a good pass over the top to Matt to actually finish that one off and get the try. But he's probably the, I don't know, second, maybe third quickest player in our 17, and got ran down by about 5 or 6 different Bulldogs players that were chasing him very, very easily. Never looked like he was going to go the distance either after getting a head start. So while it was a good moment for us to get a try, there was still some of the things that actually killed us later on in the game were in evidence once again there. Big T, after the Dogs had stripped us up the middle through the opening 20-odd minutes, the rest of the game, they seemed to show their speed and how much quicker they were than us. Do you think that speed was the difference in the game today?
Oh, they were so much quicker than us today. They played the ball quicker. They passed the ball quicker. The ball was out in front of them. They were, I don't know whether we made them look good or they just turned up today. But it happens against these clubs all the time, the Bulldogs, the Tigers, the Raiders. Do we start favourite today?
Yes.
We start a favourite today.
They're pretty comfortably favourite today.
Pardon?
Pretty comfortably favourites today.
Yeah, I hadn't look at any betting today. No, that should have been a win. They've got so many players out. We're playing a reserve grade side. That's just not on. Like you said, Amone did things today, but then did things today.
Yeah.
It was just some of the plays today from Ben Hunt. They were diabolical. The kicks were like 10 metres short than where they're supposed to be. Their fifth tackle play was, the ball was going straight to the Bulldogs. I don't know what Jamie Soward's doing with the kicking, but I could see it. I could see the kicking improving, but every kick today went to a Bulldogs player.
CJ Floyd actually asked, talking about that, the speed killing us on the outside. He asks an interesting question. Why do we play with that compressed defensive line? Like the fact that
but that's slow.
We lack speed. We don't have the speed to cover it. Why do we play with that compressed defensive line?
Yeah, a player we missed today? Moga. We missed Tau Moga today. On that,
missing speed.
Not his speed, but it's just his positional play. He's there, he knows his job. And I was pretty critical of picking Moga over Feeney, but I don't think Maxi did enough today to. I know Moga and Ravalava are out for a couple more weeks, so I think Maxi's going to get another run next week. But every player, I don't know. I'm lost. I am absolutely lost.
Yep, Jesse, can you help find Big T?
Oh, no, I'm lost too. Ravalawa's due back next week, actually, so I don't know whether he picks him or not. Moga's still a few weeks off, I think.
I had heard updated return time was round 11 for Ravalawa, so I don't know if he is available next week.
If he's available, or he's available in 3 weeks, both of them available in 3 weeks' time, Moga and Rava, who'd you pick?
Moga. I think Moga's shown more in his games than Rava's done all season.
Yep.
Moga's a better defender too than Ravalawa.
I'm with you there.
I'm not. I'm picking Rava.
Okay. Rava's a beast.
I think Matt Feeney's position on the other wing might be under more threat than from Moga than Rava's spot being up for grabs. I could see Moga going to the other side.
Yeah.
Why not mix it up a bit?
Well, Hook doesn't mind switching players from one side to the other with no real fucking thought or reason for it. So, he's likely to do anything. Yeah, I just think Rover starts our sets off better. He runs the ball harder and gets us going forward. Yeah. No, not there. Sorry, I'm just trying to work out where I'm at. Hasman. Dragons junior Toby Couchman with his first ever NRL try was a positive moment on a pretty bleak day.
Yeah, it was. It's good to see him get one sort of early on. Didn't have to wait 90 games like poor old Blocker did. But look, I don't think he had one of the best comes I've ever seen from him, which admittedly it's sort of not much to go on, certainly first grade wise, but no, he did some good things, and it was good to see him get rewarded with a try. We seem to have this habit of guys coming in and getting a try in the first couple of games. So hopefully it won't be his last, and hoping we'll see his brother come in and do the same sort of thing in the not too distant future.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree with everything you said there. I don't think it was his best game. I think came up with an error to end the Anzac Day game, and came up with another pretty simple error today. I didn't think his work rate was as high as it has been in other games. Again, I know I've said that the 5-day turnaround is probably not an excuse, but some of these young blokes that are a little less used to week in, week out NRL footy, it's hard enough on their bodies as it is. So the shorter turnaround for him may be a bit of a factor. Maybe it's time for him to have a little bit of a rest back in lower grades at a lower intensity footy, because at his age, you don't expect him to come up, stay up and be in the NRL for the entire time. So, but still, it was great.
Coach of Book's so-called experience know that.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, that maybe now is the time that he'll go and have a rest.
Well, to be honest, I think the one that should have a rest will be Cook for the next 30 fucking years.
Yeah, well, that's definitely on the cards, I think. All right, Jesse. Corey Waddell, sin binned in pretty strange circumstances. First of all, what did you think of the sin bin? And did you think we could muster a comeback from that point?
I wasn't really confident with that sin bin though. It was because he was holding him down, like when it was a 6 again call, and he wouldn't let him get up. I thought it was a.
Well, it was after a one-on-one strip. He went into the tackle with the ball.
Yeah,
he thought he still had the ball.
That's the one when Lomax stripped it off him, right?
Yeah.
And I was watching the game on Channel 9, and they even said that was a very harsh penalty. They shouldn't have gone to the bin. That's very harsh. Yeah, but you can't go holding the bloke down for that long and not expect the referee not to do anything. I thought, yeah, it might have been a bit harsh, but you get those 50-50 calls in games. You win some, you lose some. We scored pretty soon after. I think Maxi got his first try. But yeah, we didn't take much of our opportunities in that period though. But yeah, I thought that was definitely a sin bin. Yeah, but yeah, I thought they didn't do enough with it while he was real. They didn't really do enough in attack. They didn't offer enough to threaten the Bulldogs line, whether they could crack them. Their sets ends to the sets were quite poor, and it was just the Dogs knew what they were doing. They read him like a book, and they really couldn't break him. And then by the time he got on, Waddell got back on the field. Yeah, that was the end for us. Like, we had a few more sets to try and break the game open, but we never looked like cracking them open in that last 10 minutes. And yeah, that's the way the Bulldogs won. They just they held on, and yeah, it was disappointing the way we couldn't break their line or throw anything at them to break their line defensively, because yeah, our attack we just had no craft or nothing, no game management there at the end of the game, I think. Hunt should have owned that moment of the game, and he really didn't. He really lacked that department.
When does
Again-
Hunt ever own those moments in the game? Like,
Yeah.
like I know Hunt is a very good player and he does some very good things, but in those key game management moments where he needs to step up, I don't think he's ever done that. Certainly not for us.
No,
I
Matt Burton outplayed him today.
maybe back in
100% outplayed him.
2015 he might have done it a few times for the Broncos, but I can't remember Hunt ever stepping up in those big moments.
No, even yeah, Matt Burton. I thought he played quite well too. He was way up here, had Hunt way down. That's how I saw the game. Yeah, and they had everything going for him today too, like the big crowd in Wollongong, Sunday afternoon. Great ground to watch football, especially on a Sunday afternoon. Lovely day, and they go out, dish up a performance like that in front of a big crowd, 16,000 people, and they dish up that performance. To have a Bulldogs chant at Wynn Stadium is pretty poor, very poor. Never seen so many doggy supporters in the goal.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair
Right.
to doggy supporters, that they haven't had the chance to go to Wollongong since 2012. So that they played in 2020, but that was during COVID with no crowd. So it's been a long time since dog supporters have had an opportunity to go to the Gong, and they showed today that they don't mind that little trip. It definitely sounded like there was plenty of them there.
My son went today. He went a couple of his mates, and he reckons it was a 50-50 split between Bulldogs and Dragons, but Bulldogs are so much louder. He rang me up on the way home, and he says, "Dad, the Bulldogs fans were so much louder than the Dragons fans. The Dragons army was non-existent. There was no noise from the crowd, from the Dragons side of the crowd."
Yeah, and I said that when I was over there, the two games that I went to, that the Army did not make a peep. They do not make any noise until we're 20 points in front. Like, that's not when we need the Army. We don't need the Army when we're 20 points in front. Everybody's up on their feet and screaming by then. We need the Army right from the start of the game to get everyone in the mood, to get everyone pumped up. We need
You
the
did
Army.
say that this morning.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You said that in the pre game, the game day video. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't. It's really abysmal when they don't do it at all. Like except for last week when it was a Anzac Day match, they do shit all, and it's just really disappointing.
Well,
You know, if you're an Army and you're at the Dragons game, pull your finger out and actually support the team, no matter what. You go win, draw, lose, whatever. But where are you guys? On the hill, too bad gas bagging, where I'm losing my voice because I'm trying to fire up for the boys. And you
put on your clothes.
Yeah, exactly. Pull your finger out. This is why we're losing, because fans just think turncoats. So
I'd like to get up there more often, but I can't.
Get up, support.
Yeah, no,
I know. I've spoken
today.
to former member of the show, Benny O'Brien, about it a few times, and he said he's tried to get the Dragons chant going, and you start chanting Dragons, and he said everyone around you just looks at you like you've got leprosy.
I
No one wants to join in.
I hate to see Benny. I hate to see Benny this week. Benny this week, he's pretty hard on the Dragons at the moment. He's coming down on them pretty hard, and with that loss, I don't think he's going to be a Dragons supporter much longer.
Well, I think we all feel a little frustrated. I don't know about not being a Dragon supporter any longer. I've definitely
Dragons for life,
with
baby.
Yeah.
Dragons for life.
My cousin actually sent me a message before. He said, "When are you going to go support a new team?"
I had my mate's son over here today. He turns 9 in November.
Who does your mate go for, Jesse?
My cousin.
Yeah, cousin, whoever it was that messaged you.
I think he does go. He's not real. I don't think has a real. He's a drag. I think he's a dragon, but he doesn't really have it.
I'm copping the same stuff from Bulldog supporters. It's like, how many spoons have you guys won in the last couple of years? Like,
yeah, that's right.
And you
Yeah,
still
we've never
follow
won
them.
one.
So shut
We
your
won't
mouth.
win one either.
No, well, we
Won't win one.
haven't won one yet.
Gus,
What have we got?
Gus says, "Well, we're too good for the spoon." He said it plenty
Yeah.
of times.
Yeah, of course we're too good for the spoon. I think everyone that's out there watching on the vodcast tonight, everyone that's been out there commenting on Facebook all through the week, everyone knows that this team is capable of a lot more than we're showing. Everyone
Yeah.
knows that
Oh, for sure.
there is enough talent
sure.
there.
What have
To
we lost
be-
by? 2?
Yeah,
We've lost
We've been-
by 6.
Lost by
We've
6
lost by 1. We lost by
and
2.
2.
Okay. We are this close. It's just that 5th play option.
And our defense, our middle defense.
Oh, those easy tries that they score, like if we've just got to score more tries than they do.
But
They've
then
got the talent there.
we do
Yeah,
score more
fucking
tries than
goal
they do, but
kickers
Zach
well.
Lomax can't
Oh.
kick the goals.
Yeah.
He
I
seriously
understand.
he seriously needs a spell from his kicking,
He's-
goal kicking.
He is
Yeah.
4 from
Well, don't give that
17
up.
from that fucking left-hand side.
Well, that's
5
someone else
now,
kicked
5
from that
from
side
18.
of the field, but like
5
other than
from
that,
18.
today you kicked everything.
He's 5 from 18 now, has.
Five
That
No,
one
that's the
kick
other
from the
side.
sideline today was great.
That was a different sideline.
No, that's the
Okay.
left. No, I'm talking about left-hand side.
Okay.
This one.
He did kick 1 from the sideline, so he is improving. Last
Yeah,
week
that-
he
that
did
was on the
kick
other
1 from
side.
3, I think.
Yeah.
When Max scored,
For
yeah.
the left-hand side, he's fucking 4 from 17 for this
Yeah, well,
season.
let Tyrell Sloan kick from that sideline and Lomax
Yeah.
can kick from everywhere else.
I think that's a good option because you do have favourite sides to kick on, don't you?
Well,
You'd
exactly.
rather-
The halves,
rather
the
be-
centres, they've
I'm
got
right.
favoured sides. Why can't goal kickers have a favoured
That's right.
side?
I'm right-footed, and I love kicking from the right. Because the ball will come round, better than fading away. You want to hook it more than fade it.
Yeah, I think Zach Lomax is sick of people interrupting, so he's put his hand up now. He wants to talk.
See, I reckon I got the solution to the goal kicking issues. Fuck off,
Just
Judah
forget
and
about scoring tries.
oh,
worry.
bring in Jaden Sullivan and let him kick.
Well, as we said about Jayden Sullivan, though, he kicked 2 from 2 today, but he's kicking at 61% in New South Wales Cup. So he's kicking at 1% better than, actually probably worse than Lomax now. Probably a lower percentage kicker than Lomax right now.
what does
in
Is there
New South
any,
Wales Cup. So I don't know whether that's he's not the sharpshooter that everyone thinks he is.
No, he used to be. He was a
Yeah.
good kicker.
Yes.
Look, he kicked what was a 30 straight or something.
Oh, Lomax, yeah.
Couple of
Lomax,
years
yeah.
ago.
40, I think
Yeah.
it was.
What was it?
40 something.
No,
I think it was
he
40
was
something. Be in,
He did-
I was in the 30s, late 30s,
The
I think.
one he missed went over the goalpost. Like the referee's got to give it to him.
For,
Yeah, that was
for,
the
me,
day
for me,
Newcastle, yeah.
if Sullivan comes into the side, I don't want him focused on goal kicking. I
No.
want to take that, I want to add that pressure to him as well, as
No.
like running the side and doing the goal kicking and doing this and doing that. Like he's a rookie.
Just let him
And-
play his natural game.
The thing that I'm worried about with bringing all these people are bring in Sullivan and move Hunt to 9, like people that think that that's going to be an immediate fix, that overnight all of a sudden everything's going to be better. That will still be 12 months of pain with Sullivan learning how to be an NRL half. Like he's not going to be an instant sensation as an NRL half. It's going to take some time. Well, now Anthony Griffin wants to speak.
Yeah, I'll have to talk in a very monotone sort of voice here. I need to be in character, or thought we would not show any sort of emotion. Barney, my question is, if Zach Lomax isn't doing the goal kicking, what use is he to the team at this point in time?
Yeah, well, it's I think I've sort of defended Zach Lomax most of the time on this panel, because I don't think his general play has been as bad as some people make out. Like in terms of meters per game, he's at career highs. He is running more meters per game than he has at any other stage in his career. But I think there's other parts of his game that are not quite up to scratch. I think he's defensively been a real letdown this year. I think swapping sides hasn't helped Zach Lomax at all. I think in terms of attack, there's a number of times where he's had a chance to catch pass and he's got a 2-on-1 situation and he stuffs it up. So I think since he has switched sides this year, his general play has been affected dramatically. He has not handled that change of sides at all. And I don't think Moses Sully's going all that well either. I don't. What does anybody know? I'll go to you, Chloe. Does anybody what is it that we get from that change of sides, from Lomax and Sully changing sides? What benefit have we got from that masterstroke from our coach?
Nothing, because I find Sully very selfish as well. He doesn't like pass the ball. And it's really frustrating. There's a few times today that he could have passed the ball, but he didn't. And also, can I just ask before, I know you're talking about Jaden Sullivan, so I'm going to get a bit fired up about this. So everyone just relax because Coco has something to say. What the fuck does Jaden have to do to get into that fucking team? Like, I'm sorry, but this young guy can have a chance, you know? Like, mate, Salone has had, 24 games in NRL. No wonder why he's asking for a release sometimes. And you know what? I'm sick of talking about it. The poor kid needs to get on the fucking field and play. That's the end of my rant. Sorry, Dottie.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I think there's a lot of people feel exactly the same way with exactly the same amount of passion. I know I get messages. I get 100 messages a day from people that go, what does Jaden Sullivan need to do to play? What does he need to do to get into the field? Surely it's time for Hook to go. Surely Hook has to dump Moses and buy and bring, like 100 messages a day that I'm getting. I can't even imagine how many the Dragons club are getting. Like people message me, it's like, I have no power. I agree with you. There's nothing I can do though.
Johnny,
Yes,
hashtag Hook has to go. Come on, I don't have Instagram, so somebody start it. Hashtag Hook has to go.
Hashtag Hook needs to go. Everyone, Dragons fans, hashtag Hook needs to go. Let's go. Start a petition. Let's go.
Hashtag Hook the Hook.
Yeah. All right. Just to sort of change up a little bit, we have had a couple of. I've had several questions, and it was so far back in the chat. I'm not sure who it was that actually asked now, but there was several questions that actually come through about Sevilio Tamale, asking if he's ready for the NRL. He doesn't have an NRL contract or anything at the moment, so there's no. I don't see him coming in. He's played 2 New South Wales Cup games, 1 Jersey Flegg game. Yeah, he scored tries in all 3 of them, but I don't know whether he's quite ready for NRL just yet. As I say, it's difficult to say without having the opportunity to watch anything other than highlights. But I would say he's probably a little way off being NRL ready just yet. But he definitely seems a good prospect that seems to be able to get across the stripe. So we're looking forward to continuing to watch him develop. Big T, another player that I'd like your take on is Jaden Hunt. He got an opportunity today to start in the back row. His first starting game in the NRL. How did you think he went?
Oh, I don't think he went too well today. I think he was a bit slow. I don't know. He started 27 metres off 3 runs. No, he didn't do much. He played 46 minutes. No, he didn't do a lot today. Tackles, he made 30 tackles, but yeah, no. I think he's still underdone.
Yeah, no, I was very, very disappointed with his performance, if I'm honest. I'm not sure second row's his position either. I don't know why the club is trying to turn him into a second rower. Like, he's always been a middle forward. I just think
he's a 13 or an 8 or 10.
Yeah.
He is.
So I think that they brought him on for his starting debut and played him out of position. They've got Toby Couchman there that's played a few games that, you know, he has played a lot of second row coming up through the grades, whereas Jaden Hunt's, he's a huge human that's always played through the middle.
What's Ryan doing in reserve grade? What's his
he's killing it.
He's killing it.
Yeah, no, he's
Right.
making huge
Maybe bring
meters
him
every
ahead of
week.
Jaden. He's a back rower, so mate, put the two Catchman boys together. Why not? Try it.
Yeah.
Come on, Hook. Try it.
Yeah,
We have not improved in the last 5 weeks. Jesse, what do you reckon? We haven't improved in the last 5 weeks.
No, we haven't.
gone
Like,
backwards.
we've gone
It's gotten
backwards.
worse. I think it's
I
gotten
think so.
worse.
Like
I-
the man's
I-
got to go. I gave him every chance in the world when he started. He started to improve the team, started to improve us, but then we stopped.
We've gone downhill since that Dolphins game. I think that was an aberration, that game, really.
Mm.
And they never put 2 games in a row together as well. Like, they come out in the second half
No.
like Anzac Day, but they played like a different team. And
Yeah.
then today, they look a completely different team.
I'm at a loss for words.
They're just so frustrating to watch. I can't put up with it any longer. This the club just needs to make some change.
Can Bud play centre?
I don't think he's a centre. They'll be mucked. They're too
Wait,
much.
he couldn't
It's
go
a-
any
it's
worse
a-
than Lomax, could he?
Well, he could. He definitely could. But anyway, we'll move on to some questions from fans. I'll start with you, Hasman. Rob Saguna says, now we're sitting in 15th on the table. Surely the Dragons board and CEO must now sack Hook.
Donny, pay very close attention to what I've just changed my name to. Look, I think Hook's an absolutely fantastic coach. He knows what he's doing. He's got experience. I don't know why all the hate for him. Hint, hint. Now, for anyone who's just listening to this after the fact, I've just changed my name to Moses Zambai.
So Hasman's learned how to change his name on Zoom, and now he's doing it every 5 seconds, and it's hilarious.
I'm pretty much just doing it tonight just to take the piss. Look, if the board had an ounce of brains, they would sack Hook at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. It's that fucking simple. We're not going to go anywhere until Hook is gone. Pure and simple.
Yeah. I don't think you need to say much more than that. I think it's unanimous on this panel. We tend to have a lot of different ideas and a lot of different views and we encourage, anybody out there that does have a different view to us on anything. If you want to come on the panel and say your thing, then get in touch with us, and we'll be more than happy to listen to any other passionate Dragons fan, particularly if you've got different opinions to us. But I think it is 100% unanimous now across the panel that Hook has to go. He should not be here tomorrow morning. He should not be the coach for Magic Round. He should not be listed as the coach. He shouldn't be picking the team on Tuesday. He should be sacked and out the door right now. Everyone on the panel agrees with this. Everyone that I speak to, every Dragons fan I talk to agrees with this. I do not know anybody who still thinks Hook should still be the coach. No one, no fan of any club thinks that Hook should still be the coach. The only people in the world that don't think Hook should be sacked are the 8 members of the Dragons board. So they're the people that we need to start asking this question of. These are the people we need to start sending emails to the club saying, when is this going to happen? Everyone knows this has to happen and is going to happen. So do it. Just get rid of him now. At least then we know, and we can start talking about something else.
Ben Hunt's another one that would be backing him as well.
Yeah.
Well, May Hunt's been playing lately. He might as well just piss off now.
I think there'd be a couple of players that are backing him still.
Well, all the players are backing him publicly. I think Tyrell Sloan came out today and was saying how he backs Hook and he
Yeah.
supports everything that
too,
he's
yeah,
done
yeah.
over the last 12 months. So
I
Tyrell
think
Sloan
there's-
came out today and said, like, I wasn't too happy at the time, but everything he's done has actually made me a better player. And you know, he's fully supportive of him. Like, there are comments that keep coming out from players saying that they 100% support Hook and want him to stay at the club.
There are.
The players are hardly going to come out and say he's a shit coach.
Well, exactly right. What
They're not
are
gonna
they going to say? What are they
lip
going to say
service.
after he's sacked and we've got a new coach?
It's all lip service. It's lip service at the moment.
It's exactly the same. Well,
they
it's
have to
exactly the
say-
same with Hasler at Manly.
I
Like,
have to say that-
everybody wanted Hasler to stay, and they thought he was a great coach and a great bloke and fantastic for their footy. But as soon as Hasler left, all of a sudden you start hearing these stories from Manly players saying that he didn't listen to anyone. Like, he had his favourites, that they were the only people that he listened to. If you weren't in that little circle, he didn't give a shit what anybody else outside of those 2 or 3 people said. He wouldn't listen to anyone, was hard-headed, old school. Like, all of a sudden you start hearing these stories after he's been sacked. They're not going to say that while he's there.
That's right, yeah.
Hook's like that
And
now. He
then-
has his little favourites now.
Yeah, when they bring the new coach in.
And we'll find that out
Hey,
after he gets sacked.
when they're going to bring the new coach in, they're going to say, "We back the new coach." Slip service.
Yeah.
It's
Lip
what they've been
service.
told to say.
Exactly right.
Behind
Yeah.
closed doors, we don't know what they think.
No.
We will never know.
All right, Jesse, this wasn't a direct question that was sent to me. I kind of stole it from a comment on another page, but I thought I'd run with it anyway. Jeff O'Brien, he wants our take on Ben Hunt constantly blowing up at his teammates. He made a number of mistakes today, and every time he stuffed up, he seemed to blow up at teammates. And I noticed at one point, Jack DeBellin actually fired back at him. Is it a good sign that Hunt is holding his teammates accountable, or is he taking his frustrations out on teammates for his own failures and showing poor leadership?
I think it's a bit of both. Yes, some players, yes, you could say, or some people have to lift their game, but Hunt's not playing well himself. I don't think. Yeah, he has no right to say. He's got to own his own performance before he worries about other people's performance. He's got to worry about his own game before he goes on to worry about his teammates' games. Like, yes, he's the team captain. I get that, but he's got to focus on his own game, and that make sure the guys are pulling the line, doing their own job. And yes, DeBellin's a guy that's not going to take any crap from him. If DeBellin's adamant that he's done something correctly and Hunt has a shot at him, I wouldn't take that either. Like, you wouldn't take anything from him if he's. I don't think DeBellin did anything wrong. Yeah, like, DeBellin's a leader of that club too. I think, he's got a lot of experience as well, and you look at it. What I think is, like, he's an experienced member of that side. He has just as much as influence as Hunt does. For Hunt to criticize teammates without doing his own job properly, that's completely out of line, I think. Yeah.
Chloe, you've got something to add there?
Yes, I actually saw that. And you know what it was? Because Jack actually ran too fast into the line, and he wanted to pass it. And I agree with you, Jesse, but I just think he needs to take control of his own self. He's not playing very crash hot either. So maybe settle yourself down, Mr. Ben Hunt. Like, you're our marquee player. Maybe you can just, like, wake up to yourself and calm down, because you haven't done much for us for the last few games. Like, you're not pulling my strings along, so just settle down. And I would love someone to blow up at me on the field. I was like, shut up, leave me alone.
Yeah, no, it was definitely something I saw. Yeah, it was probably most notable. Most people are talking about the incident between Hunt and DeBellin, where DeBellin actually fired back at him, and yeah, again, I'm no lip reader, but it seemed like DeBellin didn't think he did anything wrong, and that Ben Hunt was blaming him for something that Hunt did wrong. So that was the one where Hunt, I think it was last tackle, got the ball, jinked, stepped inside, then tried to flick the ball out the back and threw it forward. It was a horrible play. I think Ben Hunt has shown a complete lack of leadership today throughout the game in a number of different ways. Jesse?
Did anyone see Lomax shed a tear at full time? It looked like he was taking the loss really tough.
Yeah, I did that on Channel 9. Yeah, I saw that.
What did you guys think of that? Like, it looks like the loss really it really means something to him. What do you
About
guys think?
fucking time. About
You want to
time
see
they
that from the
right.
players? It
Yeah.
means
You do. You do. You want to see it from the players.
you want to see that they care.
You want to see that.
It looks like Lomax does care.
I said before, last week we haven't lost a game lower than for 6. Like, this is the highest we've lost by. And those games could have gone either way.
Yeah.
A little bit of luck, a little bit of bounce of the ball, a little bit of rub of the green, could have gone our way easy.
Well, that's one of the things I've always said about Zach Lomax is that, like, he cops a lot of shit. Yeah, but he is a guy that loves the club and he really does play with a lot of passion. He gives his all. Sometimes I think he probably tries a bit too hard. I think that's
That's true.
been an issue with his goal kicking, and it's been an issue with his general play, trying to force things to happen because no one else is making anything happen. So he kind of feels like he's got to make it happen. Big T.
That's right. He does make things happen, and then he makes a lot of mistakes. But that's because he's trying to make things happen. Like, you can't become a superstar if you don't try things. Like Jonathan Thurston tried things, he become a superstar. You've got to try, you've got to, that's like I said to Amone on last weekend at Campbelltown, you've got to play what's in front of you, mate. You've got to play what's in front of you. And yeah, he just listens to the hook, like doesn't listen to anybody else, I don't think.
Moses Mbai, the club's best dummy half. What do you got to add to that?
Was that one run for 3 metres over today, wasn't it? What was it? My God.
Couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I mean,
it might have been 3 runs. I'm not sure.
Look, if Zach Lomax is sort of, his goal kicking is sort of getting to him, then shouldn't Hook as the coach be able to notice that and, just sit him down and say, okay, well, obviously there's something going on in your mind. What's going on? Maybe I can help. Maybe we can get sort of a fucking mind coach in or something to sort of help you out. Like, shouldn't the coach fucking know that shit?
Well, what makes you think he doesn't?
Hook needs to sit Beryl Halligan down and say, what are you doing, son? Like I said before, 5 from 17 from one side of the field. It's not good enough. Sorry.
Jesse?
I've just looked up Mbai stats. So it's 4 runs for 11 meters today.
Ho! That's a lot, mate. That's a lot. And I think one of those runs.
That's almost 3 meters per run.
No, one of those runs was 7 or 8 meters. Early in the first half, he made a run from about 40 out, and he nearly made.
But I mean, if you can average 3 meters per run, then I'm thinking. I'm actually thinking maybe I could be an NRL player.
Yeah, you could.
Little did 4 runs for 20.
Because I am confident that I could also give my halves shit service and run 4 times for 11 meters. I think I could do that.
I met you about 5 weeks ago, Donny, for the first time, and I seen you, and I went, man, this bloke could play first grade NRL. He could, for sure. And then I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, well, I could too, I think. But we need something.
Little was the same amount of runs for 29 metres. So Johnny Burks asked what was Little's stats. So 4 runs for 29 metres. Little certainly didn't have his best game today either, but I certainly think his service from dummy half was a bit better than what Moses Mbai. Like Moses, he just seems to have this pause. When he passes from dummy half, he has this pause, and that just puts extra pressure on the first receiver. There was a number of times that both Junior Monet and Ben Hunt get the ball when Moses Mbai was at dummy half. And by the time they get it, they don't have any time to do anything. So I just think Moses takes a lot of time away from them. I think he actually did a couple of good things today, Moses, and by a couple of good kicks from dummy half. That one that was very nearly a 40-20 that could have changed the game, could have changed the result of the game, had it have got that one more bounce and found touch. And there was another one in the first half where he put it right down into a corner. That was a very good kick as well. So it wasn't all bad from Moses and by today, but in terms of actual dummy half play, again, I thought he was pretty average. Big T, everything NRL said that Tyrell Sloan has said today that he wants to be signed long term. He loves the club. His contract expires at the end of 2024. Should the club be extending him beyond next year?
Yeah, to at least 2027, maybe 26. I don't think Ramsey's coming back anytime soon. We need to lock up a fullback. We could also go out and have a look at another one. Look at another fullback. Was there any goal kicking back five out there, like goal kicking back five? Because we've got to spend like for like on Cody Ramsey. So why don't we go out there? There's got to be someone out there who could play in the back five. Give Lomax a rest like Chloe says. He needs something. He needs a freshen up. I don't know how they're going to do it. Give him a couple of weeks off. Send him to America. That's what seemed to help Pappenhausen. So,
Send him to America to go to an NFL kicking coach.
Yeah, maybe. Halligan's leading him down the wrong path, I think. Because not every kick is good from Lomax at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, well, again, I don't know. I think that there's Halligan seems to think that it will pay off long term.
He's not helping us right now.
No, it's not helping us right now. But if he can go from a 78% kicker to an 85% kicker in the next little while, then maybe it does pay off in the long run. But at the moment, what do you do in the interim?
That's right. Can't do anything. Maybe, I don't know, maybe give Blocker a go. I don't know, man. Like I said earlier on, and everybody out there is with me, I think, I'm lost at what Hook is doing. He's not even trying anything. He's bringing the same team, regurgitating the same team week in, week out. Maybe swap a Ben Murdoch-Masila for a Zane Musgrove, who I don't think's done a lot. He doesn't done a lot. I was looking forward to seeing him, but he's got to step up his game, or he's never going to play.
I don't know that he's done a lot wrong either, but
but he's not done a lot on the field. He's not. He's showing it in reserve grade, but then he comes to the top grade, and it's like he's stepping up 2 levels.
Yeah, again, I think that in our first couple of games, our best players were our bench players, which included Zane Musgrove. And
our first game against the Titans, all our bench ran for 100 metres or more.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Zane Musgrove has done fairly well. I think that but again, you talk about Hook. But you talk about Hook making changes, and I don't know. I think everyone else looks at the team and looks at where we're falling down and looks at where we're struggling, and then he makes the change by taking Ben Murdoch-Masila out and putting Jaden Hunt in. It's like, which of those problems does that address?
Yeah.
Like, none of the fucking problems that we have as a team are being addressed by the changes that he does make.
I thought our starting back rows when Jaden Silver was in the side it's not a bad starting back row. Silver, Bird, and Jack the Billard. That's a strong back row.
Yeah. Jesse, you still got your hand up there, mate?
So when as I touched on before with the Lomax at the end of the game, do you think like why he's showing that maybe because it's coming down to his kicking that
100%.
He's coming down to his kicking that we're losing the last few games. Like,
well, how many times have you heard people say that the last 3 games we've scored the same or more tries than the opposition, and it's only goal kicking that has cost us. How many times do you think Zach Lomax is getting that on social media? And again, we have a game where we lose by 2 points. Zach Lomax missed 1 goal from the fucking sideline. How many fucking heroes do you think are out there right now messaging Zach Lomax and getting stuck into him? Like, that stuff, it builds up.
Yeah. I don't like people that do that. Like, he's human too. Like, I saw comments the other day, Canberra Raiders fans have turned on Jack White since he signed with Souths. Like, that's good and all, but you don't send them private messages about death threats or things like that. Like, they're human too. That's unacceptable. I have no place for that.
But yeah, I think him missing that 1 goal when, you know, the game finished and he looks at the scoreboard and they've gone down by 2 points, and he would hear all this shit that he's been copying, and you know he knows he's in for another fucking week of it now.
Must be playing on his
And
mind.
that's got to hurt.
Must be playing on his mind too.
Yeah.
But he needs to improve. He's got to take. I know all criticism is not good criticism, but constructive criticism he's got to take on board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure he's getting plenty of advice out there.
Oh, sure he is.
All right, Hasman, we move in now to injuries, sin bins, send-offs, possible suspensions and other changes. I didn't notice any injuries. That doesn't mean there wasn't any, but I can't recall any Dragons player limping off or getting injured during the game. But there was 2 that were put on report that I can remember. One was Jacob Little. What did you think of that one? And do you think he has a case to answer?
I think the decision was soft as shit, and I'd be surprised if he gets anything more than a fine.
I'd be surprised if he gets a fine. Like, he tripped over a player that was lying in the ruck and made incidental contact with the head. Like, this was bullshit. This should not be a penalty. Like, the referee on the field didn't call it. The only time the bunker can intervene is if this is deemed a reportable offence. How the fuck is this a reportable offence? Absolute ass-covering bullshit from the bunker. That should not have ended up as a penalty. It should have been play on. He tripped over and sort of brushed the side of his face, and Preston stayed laying down like a dog. Like, absolute rubbish that was ended up as a penalty under the criteria that the bunker has to use. Like, that's not a reportable offence, and ended up costing us a game ultimately. Like, they got a penalty goal from that, and that was the difference in the game. Rubbish.
It was a complete accident.
Yeah, all head highs are accidents. So no, not like
100%.
not many of them. They go out like a swinging arm like that, and yeah, not many of them actually mean to smack a bloke in the face, but all of them are accidents. The fact is that this one was incidental. Like, he tripped over and sort of brushed the side of his face. Like, he wasn't even trying to make a tackle. He was trying to get back in the defensive line and fell over. Fell over.
The problem is the referees have basically been told any contact to the head, incidental or otherwise, you got to take action on it, which is complete fucking bullshit.
Yeah. And if the referee on the field had called this, I would have said, fair enough. It's soft as shit. It's incidental contact, but he does make contact with the head. But when the referee on the field didn't call it, the only way the bunker is allowed to get involved is if it's a reportable offence. This is not a reportable offence. Not even close. So the bunker should not have got involved here. Again, we didn't deserve to win, so I'm not complaining too much about where we've ended up. We've got what we deserved, so we didn't deserve to be within 20 points of the Dogs. But anyway, I'll stay with you, Hasman. The other one on report was Jack Bird for a lifting tackle. Again, any case to answer?
Honestly, no, I don't think so. But I wouldn't mind seeing him get suspended for a week, just so he can have a bit of a think to himself and get his shit together, because he gives away way too many penalties, and that, among other things, is absolutely killing us. So he needs to look at the way he tackles and the way that he responds to shit.
Yeah. Again, I know he gave away the penalty, but the shot was on Tavita Pangai Jr. And after he sort of made the tackle, he gave him a little bit of a shove in the face as a little bit of retribution for a shot that TPJ put on Junior Amone. It was a shoulder charge after Amone had dropped the ball. And TPJ came through and just decided to stick Junior on his ass. And I think Jack Bird sort of stored that in the memory bank and tried to do a bit of a square up. Unfortunately, gives away a penalty, and like you say, a bit of dumb shit that might have flown 20 odd years ago, but you don't get away with stuff like that in the modern game. It's not really something.
If we wanted a dickhead front row with bloody second row to give away penalties, we wouldn't have got rid of fucking Maguire.
Yeah. All right. We might move into a bit of lower grades again. So again, Jersey Flegg side made it a really shit weekend for us. This was a game that got away from us, and our young playmakers couldn't close out the game. The Dogs scored the opening 2 tries, but then we struck back with tries to Campbell Watches and Ben Rumble to head into halftime in front 10 points to 8. The Dogs, the Dragons, came out. Dylan Egan scored a try in the second half to give us a 16 points to 8 lead going in towards the back end of the game. But unfortunately, as I say, they couldn't close it out. The Dogs scored another couple of tries late on and ended up beating us 18 points to 16. So, that was pretty disappointing. And I suppose on a more positive note, Jesse, you also had some news about one of our new NRLW signings.
So yes, she just played in the Women's Premiership Grand Final last night. So Alexis Torney, front rower, who's signed with the Dragons for NRLW. She's been awarded the Tasha Gale Cup Player of the Year. Only 18 years of age. 19. So she's got a rugby background, and she's known for strong carries, and she scored 3 tries across the first 6 rounds of the Tasha Gale competition. And then her strong performance was recognised, which saw her get a call up to the Women's Premiership side, and from there, Jamie Sauer was watching those games closely, and from that she scored her first NRLW contract, and looks like we've got a nice young prospect coming through to join us in a few weeks. So Alexis Torney, Tasha Gale Player of the Year, which the Roosters won actually yesterday, 26-22, Donny.
There you go. All right, I might go to you, Chloe, for the last question of the night. Now, injuries and suspensions aside, what changes would you like to see made before we hit the field at Suncorp for Magic Round next weekend?
Okay, I don't know if you can see me, but my phone's started to cuck it. What changes? Okay, here we go. Now, I'd like Jaden Sullivan to come in. Maybe let Little start first, not Mumbai. Let's have Little, everybody. You know what? I actually don't even know, but I would like I don't know. I'm just a bit overwhelmed with this game today, and we have the Tigers who just won their first game last night, and that was a very good match, even though it was pissing down with rain. It was a very good match. So I just think they need to work hard at training. They need to have a little meeting with everybody and go, all right, let's just deal with whatever you need to. Have a little, I feel like this. If they need to just get out the shit and get on with it. Call people out if you have to. But, they really need some more speedsters and just work the middle as well. I feel like our middle is a bit, lazy. So no oomph, So, yeah, I just think a bit more speed. Friends, speed.
Yeah, speed kills, and it killed us today.
Yep.
I think that was the key to the Bulldogs getting over the top of us today. And I look through our squad and I don't see anybody else that's got the speed. I don't see anybody else that can come in to help us rectify that. Asman, do you see anything?
Look, it's basically got to that point, and you'll fucking love this, Donny, where I'm actually thinking maybe, drop one of the bloody second rowers and bring in a young man by the name of Billy Burns.
I agree.
But I can't see Billy at the moment coming in and doing anything like he does in the reserve grade. It's a bit like Jaden Hunt. I think he's 23 years old. He's got another year or so to go, I think. He does run right good lines, and I like him, but I don't think he's ready yet.
I don't think Jaden Hunt's a first grader either.
Yeah, I've always thought that the jury's out on Jaden Hunt. I actually haven't seen him perform that well in reserve grade to get the reputation that he seems to have got at the club. I was not impressed with his performance today. Sorry?
He had a few games last year.
Yeah, I remember him on debut coming on. He lasted about 30 seconds and got knocked out.
There he did, that's right. Yeah.
So he hasn't really had a chance in the top grade with good minutes. Today was the first time we've really seen him with decent minutes, and he did fuck all. Like he didn't step up. He didn't come out like you want a guy that's getting his first starting berth to play with that energy and really bring the side up with him to get in there, rip in and try and make a difference.
Played him out of position.
Well, that doesn't fucking help either, does it? They've been doing that all season. Keep playing him in the second row, and yeah, again, that was actually a big issue with why Dragons fans hate Billy Burns too, is because his first few games in the NRL were all played out of position. He played in the centres these first 4 or 5 games in the NRL. And people said, "Oh, he's a shit centre." I was like, "Well, he's not a fucking centre."
No, but back row and centre are sort of similar.
Yeah.
They're a similar position. You're just playing out one further out when you play.
I get that, but he as soon as he played in the second row, he went all right.
Well, put Lomax in the fucking second row then.
Put Lomax in the second row.
I
put Sully in the second row.
I put Ravalawa in the second row.
Sully
and Rava.
I think they should both be in the second row, to be honest.
Any of our back five could play second row. Maybe the same. Maybe not Sloan.
Yeah, apart from Sloan, but all the rest are about the speed you expect to.
I was just about to say they're all about the speed of a back rower.
Yeah,
all about the speed of a back rower. So, yeah,
that's the problem. Then we've got no outside backs, though.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Moga.
Well, again, he's about the speed of a back rower too. Like, actually, he's probably the speed of a.
Well, why don't we just try for 1 week? We'll do it against the Tigers. Just swap the back rows and the centres around. What? I'm trying.
What's the worst that could happen?
I'm trying something. Come on.
I'd even try for feeder. Maybe, I don't know how he went today, but it's worth a shot. See how he goes.
I don't think he's quite ready, but
they've got nothing to lose.
Exactly right. Like he's got to do something to make changes. Like he can't regurgitate the same team every week.
The players feel too safe. Like they know they're going to be playing in the team every week. And
at the moment, yeah.
And
again, I think there's a few obvious changes that people would love to bring in, but
just try them, mate.
Well, I don't know that any of them are going to make much difference. There's not a lot of people that are bashing down the door in reserve grade. I think Jaden Sullivan's got to be in the 17 somewhere. He's got to come in. I think Jacob Little's got to start. I'd like to see Moses and Bai drop back to reserve grade. Have Junior Amone at 14. Billy Burns comes into the side there somewhere because I think he's earned it with a couple of really good performances in reserve grade. Give him another chance at NRL level. And a bloke that's actually a second rower playing in the second row. Well, that might be a good option. Look, Ben Murdoch-Vasilla coming on as an impact forward off the bench sort of worked okay today, although he didn't really get the minutes. I
think he's more a middle forward too.
Yeah, he's a middle as
Kirk
well.
made a lot of meters today too.
Dave Musgrove's the middle. They tried to put Josh Kerr back in the back row. I think it was last year.
They did a couple of years ago.
Yeah, in Hook's first
And,
year. Yeah,
Yeah. I don't think he's a back rower either.
no, he's a front rower. I think I'd look at starting him. He's playing well.
Michael Molo might be able to drop back because he's a smaller body.
Yeah, I'd have him off the
And,
bench. I don't think he's a
Off the
starting
bench,
role.
yeah, but I reckon he could cover that role as well, a back row role.
Well, I think you look at the guys that Hook has tried to convert into back rowers, and Josh Kerr, Jaden Hunt are perfect examples. That and Ben Murdoch-Masila, all three of them have exactly the same things in common. They're big fucking humans. That's what he wants out in the back row. He wants that big human running
I could see what he
the
wants.
little half, running over the top of the half, isolating, running over the top of them. But
He's
they've
trying with,
got to have the mobility to be able to do that.
he's
Yeah.
trying it with Bird as well. I don't think Bird's a second rower either.
No, I've never liked Bird in the second row either. I prefer him at lock, but
I think Bird's got to play down the middle. He's got to be locked. He's got to be inside both of those big boys.
But then we don't have any
No,
back
that's right,
rowers, do
Jesse.
we? We've got Jaden
Everyone-
Sewer, and that's about Jaden Sewer, Billy Burns are our only two actual edge forwards.
I think at the
Yeah.
moment DeBellin's our best lock.
Yeah, Dylan's our best player at the moment, I think.
Yeah, what Bird
Yeah,
had a few games
I
to
think
start the year at lock.
if DeBellin plays lock or he plays prop, he plays exactly the same way.
That's right, yeah.
So it makes no difference to
They're a
DeBellin.
similar role where you stand on the field, aren't they?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I think prop you probably defend one title.
I think you got prop, hooker, lock, prop or something in it, or
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, Bird started the year at lock, but he didn't. He looked gassed by the end of the games. Like he was throwing a lot of loose
I'd
balls
say 28 now.
around that age mark. Yeah,
Yeah. So that's where you're looking at your. Well, in the old days, that's where your big forwards used to come on about 28. Not so much now. It's a bit younger now.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a
You
bit
reckon
younger now. It's
Couchman's
not
a back
28.
row?
It's probably 23, 24.
Well, Couchman thinks he's a back rower. I've liked what he's done through the middle, but both Couchman brothers consider themselves back rowers, but they've only played senior footy through the middle. So
yeah. He's an option I'd look at starting as well. Like, you can't,
Yeah, I'd start him. I
couldn't
think.
go any worse. Yeah, he's out there having a go.
yeah,
Bring
well,
his
again, we've
brother
got a
on the
full
bench.
7-day turnaround, and hopefully Hook will surprise us all and do something remarkably different on Tuesday, and hopefully even more. It's not up to him because he's been sacked by then. Anyway, we'll wait and see. Hopefully we've got a big show with some big announcements to take you through on Tuesday with regards to the coach and with regards to some team selections. If not, we'll take you through them anyway. All right.
Maybe a guest or two.
That's it. Yeah, we've got a couple coming on. So see you Tuesday. And come on, Dragons fans. Stay fired up a little bit.
Fire up, baby. Dragon for life.
Fire up.
Go Dragon.
Love you
Red
all.
V's a part of me.